Hello, hello, friends. How are you doing today? Really, how are you? My name is Kirsty, and this is It Expired? Here is my disclaimer. As always, please do not use expired makeup. I am making a very, very questionable decision, but I'm making that decision for myself. Things can happen with these products. You can eventually start seeing mold on them. They can get chunky, or things like the smell can change and the performance can change. Now, obviously, if any of those are happening, they're going in the bin. That's the end of it. We're done. But I have a really hard time just throwing things out because they have got past a certain date. That's just who I am. The reason I'm doing this is because I've been collecting for 12 or 13 years, and I feel so much better when I organically use up a product versus throwing it away simply because it's past its manufacturer expiry date. That's just how I think about things. I do obviously check for things like consistency and texture and smell, and if any of those things have changed, gone off, they go in the bin. But otherwise, I like to just try to keep using things so that I can get them used up and out of my collection that way instead. But again, making that choice for myself, I don't recommend others do the same. I could end up with a rash or a breakout or an infection, but that's on me. I have no one else to blame but myself at that point, right? So that's why I'm doing this. That's what's happening here. Let's move back to last week, see what I pulled. I did get quite a few looks actually, so I have a few photos to share, and then we'll just move right on to this week. Couldn't tell you what week it is. 44? I think we're on 44. Let's go backwards. Okay, we're gonna start with this because it is actually one of the oldest items in my entire collection. I can't remember if it's 40 or 50 of these, and I have the list and I look at it all the time. I think it's 40 of these Shany Cosmetics loose pigments. Now, this is in the shade 20, and it is actually down to about here. So, it's not quite halfway, it's about a third of the way down, but what does that mean? It means I've gotten a lot of use on a single loose pigment, which is huge for me because these aren't something I grab that often, just due to the fact that when I think of loose pigments, I think of messy, but these are actually not bad at all. I put down a base, they stick really well, and they actually stay throughout the day really well, too. So, really impressed with these. I just have to remember that I do like them, and I want to keep grabbing them. They are 13 years old. Time to get some use on them. I don't necessarily know what would go bad in a loose pigment, but I wore it all week. It was right around my eye area the whole week, and I had no adverse reaction, so it's just going to go back into my collection, and I'm going to keep trying to use these. I don't know if I'll ever be able to use up a loose pigment, because these are huge. I don't know what the size is. There's no amount in these. I would have to look it up online, but these are quite large for a loose pigment, so these would take me forever, but I like them, and I like to be able to grab them, so it's going to go right back home. Next, this is about 9-ish years old. This is the Hello Kitty Strawberry Pink Lip Gloss. Let me tell you, this, yeah, it's old. It's a cream product. It's one of those things that would eventually go bad, absolutely, but for now, the smell, actually, it doesn't smell like anything. Smells fine because it doesn't have a smell, and I used this a lot last week. I went out a couple times, so I threw it in my bag, and I was able to put it on like 5, 6, 7 times during a day, and I feel like I got a lot of good use on this, which I'm excited about because at this point, it's kind of on the line of next time I grab it, is it going to be done? Is it going to have that smell that says, time to go into the trash? Or am I going to be able to finish it up? That'd be really cool. I do have a couple lip glosses I am specifically working on that I want to get finished this year, but I think if I can get those done and roll those out, this might be something I throw in there to try and finish as well, just due to its age. But I have so many lip glosses that are like almost 10 years old, and I know it's gross. I know. But the performance hasn't changed, they smell fine, and I have no issue wearing them. Like, I don't get a rash or anything happening with my lips. So I just want to use them up. And again, I have such a hard time just being like, well, it's old, so it's time to go. When I look at the product, I smell the product, I feel the consistency, and it still seems fine. I'd so much rather get my money's worth and use it up. before something very obvious goes off. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next, I do have the Sephora Collection Flashy Gray eyeliner. Now, I did actually have to sharpen this a few times, which is great. It's just a basic silver eyeliner, flashy gray. It's silver, it's fine. Anyway, I actually got quite a bit of use on this. I just used it in my waterline the whole week. And yeah, like I said, I had to sharpen it a couple times, which means I got some visual use out of it. So that's fantastic. It is still creamy. It still works. There's no tugging or pulling. And again, it was on my waterline all week and I had no issues. This is old too, 8 or 9 years old. So I know that's scary. I know it's such a scary thing that I'm using these old products. But as of yet, I have had no issues. And when it happens, I'll let you all know, I promise. And again, no one to blame but myself. But don't do it. So this is fine. I'm going to throw it back in. And because I was able to get so much use, I think it's something that if I consistently try to gravitate towards, I can use it up. So we'll see what happens. Okay, next here I have the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. This is just the mini, so I don't know if you can see, but it's already like up to here. So it's probably about a third empty as well. This is 8 months old. No, not even. This was this year. This I got in 2024, so probably 6 months old. Obviously no issues. I would hope not. If my, 10-year-old stuff is doing okay, I hope that my 6-month-old stuff is working properly. I did actually quite like this. It is just a silicone texture feeling primer, and I don't know. It was okay. I don't think it's my favorite primer in the world, but I liked it enough. I would use it again. It's something that I know I can use up, so it's gonna go home. And then, last for last week, this is my Lancome Dual Finish Highlighter Palette, the Holiday Edition 2019. Now, I did likely get this in 2020, just due to the fact that I know I got it after the fact, which is fine, but it was still probably manufactured in 2019. It is what it is. It's so beautiful. The consistency is almost a mousse-like texture, like it's a cream to powder, I think. So beautiful. No smell. Went on beautifully, smooth, silky. Adore this. Adore it so much. So yes, even though it is 5 years old, I am still obsessed with this palette, and it's not going anywhere. It's staying right here with me. And with that, I will put a couple looks up. Obviously, they're very green heavy a lot of the time because of that shadow, and I was trying to kind of play with some accompaniment palettes and other shadows so that it wasn't just green on green on green. But it is what it is. It was a green shadow that I pulled. So, love this. It's gonna go home, but it is gonna be something I just keep grabbing anyway because I really do love that palette. Let's move on to this week. Okie dokie. This is a Halo highlight from ShopMeA. This would be, I want to say like 3 or 4 years old. I haven't known or shopped at ShopMeA for entirely too long, so probably 3 years old, although it is totally like fading off of the case here. Everything at ShopMeA is $1-ish, so you have to take that into account. The packaging might not be the best in the world, but you're paying $1 or $2, so makes sense. This product actually is really, really nice though. So it is a highlight. It does have like a marbling in it. Yeah. And it's not super silky, but it's nice feeling, and it's actually very satin-like highlight. It is not incredibly intense. I'm just like waving at the camera. It's not super intense, but it gives this beautiful lifelike glow, and I'm sure you can kind of see that too. I do have a liquid and a powder on for the highlight, so it might be a little more intense than just this, but I do really like that it's almost a matte satin glow. It's so pretty. I do really like this. I've used it actually quite a bit over the last few years, 2 or 3 years, whatever, and I'm excited to use it for the week. I do enjoy this one. Next, I have the About Face Cheek Freak Blush Balm in the shade Raunchy. I have 2 of these, and I got them, I think, at the beginning of 2023, so they're just over a year old, and I do really like them. They're just cream blushes. This actually is my favorite of the 2 that I have. The other one I have is Score, so it's like a purple, and this is more of a muted orange, I would call it. I really like the color. It's so soft and silky. So pretty. And an orange blush is honestly my favorite. I don't know why, but they seem to go with my skin tone really well with that coral or orange shade, so I really, really like this. And it has some use, obviously. The imprint of the AF is already gone, so I've used it enough that the top layer has been totally taken off. And I'm excited to use this week too. It's a good product. I really enjoy these. This is the culprit for getting all over my teeth 16 times in this episode, so if you see lipstick on my teeth, blame this. And I'm sorry. I keep checking and I keep wiping, but these don't dry down. This is the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in the shade Respect the Pink. I don't know why, but I found like 2-3 packs of these, and they're all quite interesting colors, and in my head I was like, great idea, let's get these, when I don't generally wear insane colors. And a lot of them are like, one is a purple that's so dark it looks black, there's this one, there's another bright pink, and then there's like a gray and a brown, and I'm like, what was I thinking? I love the option of fun, interesting lip colors, but honestly I don't wear them that much. But then they're there if I feel like it. You know, if I get back into a groove where I'm like, I want a green lipstick, I have one. And I think I actually do. I'm pretty sure I have pretty much every color. But this is a very light pink. Like, it's your Barbie pink, for sure. I did actually use it as a base on my eyes as well, to get a little more pop with my pinks in the center. And then I just put it on the center of my lips, so it's not all over. I do have something a little more neutral on the outside, and then I just blended this in the center and just kind of used my finger to blend it in, gave it a little more dimension. But I was able to use this in 2 different ways today. So, I am excited to keep using it. These are probably 5 years old. I want to say probably about 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, probably about the 2020 mark. So they're definitely getting older, but they still smell like they always did, which wasn't like fruity or anything. It just smells like a lipstick. But it is still very faint. Like, it's not getting out of hand. If that smell starts getting really strong, it's gonna go, but they always had that slight scent to them, and I remember that. So it seems to be doing just fine now, and I'm excited to get a little bit of use on it, because like I said, these are things that I just don't grab. So by the time I think about grabbing it again in the future, they may have gone off, and at least I know I got some use on them. This is my Beige Cosmetics Liquid Foundation in the shade 207 Rosy Beige. This is almost halfway done, and like there's a ton of windowing happening, but it was laying on its side, so it still kind of needs to like figure itself out here, but it is a little bit lower than that, so it's about halfway full, which is great, because this is probably 5 years old, and not one of the oldest in my collection by any means, but it is definitely on my list of, hey, it does need to be finished in the next year or two here, as I kind of have a rotation of ones for when I don't pull foundations into this project that I'm trying to use up actively, because I know they are incredibly old. And like I said, as of right now, they still seem to be performing okay, they still seem to be smelling okay, but I know like they gotta be getting close to when I open them one day and they've gone very wrong. So I want to try and get them used up and out of my collection, and there's about 3 ahead of this one, I think, and then yeah, it'll be this guy's turn. Foundation doesn't take me terribly long to get through, just due to the fact that I do get ready like 5 or 6 times a week usually. So, you know, a package like this, what is this, an ounce? An ounce is like normal, right? Yeah, 30 ml or an ounce. These will usually take me, if I'm getting ready 4 or 5 times a day, 2.5 to 3 months of use on just the one. So that means I can generally get through about 4 in a year, which actually isn't that bad. This year I haven't even emptied one. However, I have 2 that are like at the end, and I'm like, why won't you finish? Where is the end of you? What's happening? I have 2 of them that I've been fighting with for so long, and they look empty, and it just keeps coming out. It's never ending. It just won't stop. But that probably means that I'm going to be done 2 within the same week, right? You know, they'll finish at like the same time, because that's how that works. But anyway, this one I do for sure think I'll be done by the end of next year. Probably not this year, but within next year, this will be done anyway. And I like it. It's a very natural finish. It's not quite matte, but it is a little more matte than I generally like. However, it's a million degrees outside, so I'm cool with the little more matte right now on my skin so that I'm not feeling oily and sticky. So this is good for summer. It's just a little light for summer, so I have to mix it. It is what it is. Can't win them all. Just can't do it. Last year I have my Morphe Cherry Coke palette. I don't know why I have this. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty, but it's very, like, I have these colors in my collection 120 times. I have these colors in my collection. Is it nice? Do I like my look today? Yes. Did I need this? Not even remotely. This is 2.5 to 3 years old. It's not super duper old. Again, it was one of those things that I got it quite a bit after the original launch, so it wasn't like, hey, this came out and I was like, oh my god, I need that. No, it was like, it was on sale and I was like, it's pretty. And I'm trying to get out of that mentality, because that is how my collection has gotten this bad. Because I will go to Winners and I'll be like, oh, you know, I wanted that when it came out last year, or the year before, or whatever, and it's half off. Well, now, yeah, let's get it. Or, you know, I'll see it on the website and it's on sale, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm saving money. Am I? Because I can only put so much use into these products. I'm trying so hard here. And at least I feel like I'm getting use out of these products, because every product that has come into this project, that is hard to say that fast. I had to really slow down there. Yeah. Every product that has come into this project, at least I know I'm getting 4 or 5 solid uses on for that week. And then honestly, it's something that I remember and I'm grabbing more, and it's just really letting me familiarize myself with my collection a lot more, because I wasn't like that before. There would be weeks where I wouldn't get ready, and then I'd be sitting looking at this massive collection going, why do I have this? But makeup brings me joy. It brings me happiness. But I also like to know I'm getting my money's worth. So even though I adore these products, there are a lot of things I really, really love, I know that I shouldn't bring more in as consistently as I have been, because I just can't use it up. It's just not going to happen. Eventually, a lot of these products are going to go bad, and then I'm going to be really bummed out because I'm going to have to trash them. And that's going to be huge for eyeshadow palettes, because how do you finish up an eyeshadow palette when you have 140 of them? How? Is it physically possible? Like, I don't want to just use this every day for the next year so that I can use it up. That's not fun for me, but I want to make sure that I'm at least getting my money's worth out of them. You know? I'm doing my best here. That's everything. Like I said, I know this project isn't for everyone. And that's fine. I know some people are going to be so weirded out and grossed out by the fact that some of these products are so old. And that's fine. You are more than welcome to be weirded out. You are more than welcome to get a little ick, because some of these are like 10 years old. And I promise you that I am doing patch tests and smelling them and looking at them and really trying to ensure as best I can, visually, scent-wise, and by a patch test, that it's not going to hurt me if I'm going to wear it for that whole day or that whole week. So I understand this project is off-putting. It is. It's weird. We're always told to throw out expired makeup. Well, we have been for about 10 years. Before that, no one cared. Oh, you have makeup from the 80s? Perfect. Let's put it on my face. That was a thing we did. But obviously we're a lot more aware of ingredients and expiry dates and what can happen and yada yada yada, and that's great. I love that we have a little more education into how these are formulated. That's lovely. But I still just want to get my money's worth before they end up in the trash. So I am as a person, and I'm just waiting for the day someone yells at me for doing this. And that's fine. Like I said, my body, my choice. And it's not the least questionable decision I've ever made, that's for sure. But that's what I'm here for. Because if something goes wrong, you guys are going to know. And it is what it is. But that's it. That's everything. That's all. Have yourselves a wonderful day, evening, weekend, journey. And I will see you all next time.